the Get Made podcast. I'm your host, Hassan Clay. I'd like to thank you for showing up once again. This has been a remarkable experience. I've loved every comment, every support that I've gotten over the past 7, 8 weeks. I can't even imagine just starting something this magnitude and just the support that I've gotten and the well wishes and even some of the suggestions that I've gotten over these past weeks. And I'd like to say thank you. Keep them coming. Please continue to share our work here. You can definitely catch us streaming on Facebook and YouTube via Restream. And with that being said, let's jump into this week's podcast. So I've been talking with several clients for a couple of years now, and of course, male clients. And I've heard some women say certain things along these lines. But the word submission keeps coming into play, or submit coming into play. And a lot of times this is synonymous with obedience, right? So we want to make sure that we are at this point trying to make what seemingly look like that connection. However, I hear a lot of men saying, well, women nowadays are not that submissive and they're not obedient. And I hear a lot of women say, well, if he would take care of everything, I have to do this, I have to do that. It seems like I'm the leader in the home, so how can I be submissive, right? And if he was taking care of all of these things, then I can be softer. I can be more into my feminine self. That's the word that's actually being used. I can be more into my feminine self. Okay. So first, let's clear something up here. That genie is actually already out the bottle. So this whole, you can be in touch with your feminine self and all this old type of stuff, being soft and all that. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. Kill that, because you're not going to do it. Right. There's no way that you've been in a situation where you've been calling the shots over your own life, because what happens with submission, that not only does a man take care of his household 100% or paying the bills and different things, but he also gets to manage you. You don't want that. Talking to these women now, you don't want that, right? So first and foremost, let's kill that misnomer talking about this whole soft life, this whole feminine energy that you want to be tap into more, your feminine energy and all this. Okay, real talk, that genie has really jumped out that bottle. That ship has really sailed. So if we're going to start dealing with things from a realistic point of view, from a true point of view, let's really look at this, dive into this word, submission, right? So I looked the word up. Now, I'm not one who's really, English lit was never my subject. So first and foremost, let me make sure I'm clear about that. It was never my subject, right? But I do believe words mean something. I really do believe that when we say something, it's supposed to convey the true meaning. So what I looked at when I started looking at submission, because I also want to make sure that everyone is clear that we use words out of context a lot. All right. I haven't been in conversations, and okay, we black too, so we kind of understand what the other person is actually kind of saying as well. But we use words out of context a lot, right? But if I get in, this is a dangerous word to get wrong. Because again, when we start looking at submitting and submission, we also equate that with obedience, right? And so if we then start looking at how we are to look at this word, if we start looking at the word from let's break it down, from sub into mission, right? And so we understand sub is actually a prefix for meaning something under, right? We understand submarine, subway, all these type of things here. That's something that's normally under a surface, right? And so we start looking at mission, right? And I was really, really stuck with that word in itself because I got a couple of different definitions of it. But one is a delegation that goes to a foreign country, right? And so I started looking at that and I started looking at, all right, like mission statements, talking about what your values may be, all these type of things here. What I understood then was, okay, maybe we're looking at the vision, right? And then I started actually, brothers, and again, this is about straightening the crown of my brothers at the, adjusting the crown of my brothers at this point, because I really need you to hear what's being said. If I am to submit, that means I am under his vision. Whatever his vision for the family might be, whatever his vision for long-term goals may be, whatever his vision for moving forward and his ambitions, what I am going to be under that and be supportive of that. And I want that to sink in for a minute, because here's what really happens. And I really want us to take this very serious. When getting together, we don't talk about a true essence of the vision and how, not only for a man, but also for a woman. Because when we start talking about a marriage, this is actually an interdependent relationship. It's not an independent or a codependent relationship. This is actually an interdependent relationship. So I need her just like she needs me. There is no big I's and little U's in this situation. Now, when we talk about dealing with representation, obviously a man is going to represent his family. He's going to be in the forefront, and he may make even some decisions or make some final decisions, right? But he is able to do that because his woman understands the vision, and she's under that vision. And what takes place for a lot of us brothers out here, we are not conveying the vision. So no one knows the mission. No one knows what needs to take place. No one knows how to go out there and handle the business of the husband, or what it is his vision that he has for his family. So you run into a lot of women who now have to come up with their own mission. Now, don't get this twisted. I want us to connect some dots here. It's because for the last 100 years, maybe a little less, I don't want to exaggerate it too much, but I want us to get the understanding that for the last 100 years, we've had great-great-grandmothers telling great-grandmothers, telling grandmothers, telling mothers who are telling daughters how not to really rely on a man. And so where some of these women in years gone past were not in a position to be financially independent of a man. They really weren't going out there making their own money. They really weren't going to schools. They really wasn't having this type of access to mainstream society that they get to have now, that they have actually been able to give more to our women than to us. And I don't want to make that as an excuse, but the table has been slanted against us here. I'm talking to you brothers now. The table has been slanted. It's not an excuse, it's a reality. So I want us to understand that there has been this gearing towards them understanding the mission, trying to get some things going. Then in our arena, we've dropped the ball on many things. We haven't been able to articulate our mission. We haven't been able to see the vision and make it plain, right? We haven't been able to move in an orderly fashion that then allows for the people who are with us to up and take our banner or run with the baton that we're actually trying to pass to them, or coach them through what it is that we need them to do or how we need them to position the situation. We haven't been able to articulate that. What we have been articulating is, you got too much masculine energy, or you hard-headed, or you disobedient, or you too independent, which then breaks or attempts to break our women, right? And so that genie, bro, is out the bottle. That design was made against you. Now, you in real time are really fighting against your own best interests by not educating yourself on how to deal with this situation called our sisters in this day and time, right? Now, that's not going to say that some people are out of, some women are out of orbit. Hey, some men are out of orbit. And this is why we're trying to adjust the crown of our brothers, right? I want us to realize that as we pick it up and get it together, we start conveying the mission. We start having complete conversations with our women and learning what a complete conversation is. And that's something I really want to dive into today. You don't know, we're not knowing ourselves. We're having these ideas. We get some of this information from, if it's in a religious context, or is somebody talking about their high value man. And I think that's probably one of the most corrupt things that's ever taken place, because real talk, the idea of a high value person, when it just comes to that they make money or is no different than the women who have been taught to become independent. It's from the same tree. And we don't get that. The roots are the same. It's just a different part. It's a different branch. It's from the same root. And we have to kind of eradicate. We have to uproot that root and start doing something that's probably the craziest thing that ever have taken place, when we start putting value to the monetary aspect of life. Because that's what's really being conveyed now. Oh, I'm a six-figure earner, or I'm do this, or I'm a highly prized man, or you're a highly prized man because you're a man and you hold a position as a man, not because of the trinkets that you come, because at any given time, God can take that from you. Then where do you stand? At any time, the fruits of your labor can go to the wayside. This high position job that you think you have, or this entrepreneurship that you enjoy, that at any given time, you are a click away from being destroyed. So why put our value in something that is fleeting? So I want to drop that in the parking lot, as my cousin tell me, put that in the parking lot for right now. So I want us to learn how to have a complete conversation as we continue to get to know who we are as men, some of the things that we stand for, some of the values that we stand for. So part of that in the complete conversation, one, is having a realistic expectation. I want us to really look at that, because when we have, a lot of times when we're talking, and I know when I do premarital, when we're talking about expectations, a lot of times they give us these matrimony.com words. I want somebody who's honest. I want somebody who's loving. I want somebody who's spiritual minded. Or I want this, or I want that, right? They tell you all these type of things here. but they never tell you what that looks like. So we have all this increment. Yeah. Oh man, I'm spiritual, right? But they don't know how I need you to show up spiritually. They don't know how I need you to show up intellectually, how I need you to show up mentally or emotionally, or how I need you to show up physically, or how I need you to show up socially. We don't have those real conversations on what is the standard? What is the behavior that I'm looking for? Right? That's number two. What is the standard? What is the behavior that I'm looking for? How do I need you to show up this way? Yeah, that's good. I want you to have that quality, but this is how I like to see that quality carried out. This is how you make me like you more, because now not only do you talk it, but you walk it, right? And you get to convey, again, this is about the complete conversation. You get to convey the value it holds for you. Why is this important? Why is spirituality practiced this way important to you? Why is it important for you to eat the way you eat? And why is it so important for you to always read a book? Keeping a book, you're just not scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok just to get some laughs and some giggles, but you're actually trying to go on and you're reading the news, or you're trying to equipping yourself with better information on how to tackle this world out here. You're doing something that's constructive. Why is that important for you? Why do you thrive in that arena? So when we start being able to convey the values that it holds for us, oh my God, man, talking about new level, next level, real talk, your next level. And you're not just blowing it, because some people are pretty good with blowing smoke at you. They can tell you all this, and real talk, sis. I ain't telling you no lie. I had a premarital course that I was teaching one time, and had a sister sitting there talking, and I got her to talk. I just started getting her to talk. She started telling me more about herself. I didn't tell her a word about me, right? But this is an exercise, and I'm talking to her. I had another sister on the side saying, "Oh, he wouldn't get me like that. He wouldn't get me like that." So I flipped it over there to her and just started talking. The next thing you know, she started running all her problems down and telling me all this, and everybody looking like, "Wow, she fell for it just that quick." Yeah, because sometimes women, y'all do go for what you hear. And this ain't about women, but this is about women. But I'm here to adjust the crown to my brothers, because I don't want them to quit doing all this talking and start putting some better action into play. But when you start talking about your values, you start walking your values, you start trying to be in a position of, hey, this is why this is important to me. And you're not catching, a bellyache or your butt not hurting because she may challenge you on certain things, because one, she has not been used to a brother having a vision. That's what you don't get. She hasn't been used to a man having a vision. She's been used to a man showing up saying, "I'm man, follow me," and thinking that he can just, have sex with her and then make her, cave into whatever it is that he want to do, because he thinks he's such a good lover or whatever the case may be. But she looking at him like, okay, I like you, but I'm going through all this. But yeah, that's real. I'm dropping it to you, bros. I want you to understand that this is what be taking place. Good portion of the time, and some of us can't take it. Some of us can, but a lot of times they be lying, bro. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. A lot of times they lying. But it's okay, because sometimes the lie is necessary. Because if she sit there and tell you, "Oh, you ain't no good in bed," it's gonna crush your ego. It's gonna crush your ego. Hell, it'll crush my ego. I ain't gonna sit here and act like it ain't nothing new. Lie to me. I'm all right with that. Lie to me. All right. But I'm sitting there saying, real talk, everything has a purpose. Everybody have a lane. And what happened for us, we're not really feeling our lane. And part of that feeling the lane part, trying to get to know ourselves, learning how to convey it. Again, have a vision, make it plain. You got to be able to see where it is, forecast where you're trying to go, and then try to get there. Some of us do it well in some areas. We don't do it well across all areas. And so maybe when you do it well in other areas, maybe you can replicate that in the areas where you might be weak in. Because what you want your woman to do is fall in line with you. You want her to submit or be submissive or have some submission with you, because not only because it's the right thing for her to do, but it's because she wants to do it. She want to be in behind you because she believes in you. She trusts you. You know, even when you get it wrong, she doesn't think, I mean, nobody's going to be 100% correct. Even when you get it wrong, she'll understand that he going to try to make it right. He going to try to recover. He just ain't going to blame me because he think I got all this masculine energy. Or he's just going to blame the world because he a black man and everything. He think everything is going against it, even though she knows it's going against it. Even though she knows she got some masculine energy. But she don't want you to just get caught right there. She want to see how you are going to recover from that. How you are going to say, hey, look, I understand. You know, I want us to have partnership. And this is the game, bro. And, you know, we call it game, but this is just real life. This is it right here. I want you to have partnership here. I want us to be equal here. I get that. I want this as much as you want it. And when the pendulum was swung too far to the left, it wasn't right. And when the pendulum swung too far to the right, it's still not right. I want us to set that thing right in the middle. And I know that there's going to be some things that I need to be able to get from you and glean from you, just like I want you to do the same with me. Right? I'm not just going to discount you in anything you say. I want to really listen to what it is that you're saying. And like they say, two heads are better than one. Right? I don't want you to supersede me and move and push and past me to say this or do that, because that's not respecting what's happening here. But I want you to be able to say, okay, you pulled me up on game. Now let me go execute that. You know, I had a thought about it. You kind of pulled my coat and said, hey, maybe look at that a little differently. Right? Maybe you might need to check that out. And then I can say, okay, tell me how you see that. Tell me what's up with that. Tell me what I'm missing. Right? You say, well, I want you, you know, check this out. X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3. And you're like, man, you know what? Real talk. I may have missed that. You know, let me think about that. So I don't have to be hasty in my movement. And she pulled my coat, and that still got us looking like a team. And that got me, you know, my woman got my back. Down how we say it back in the day, down like 4 flat tires. You know, 10 toes down, all these type of words here. But then she know that, hey, this dude got me. He protecting and maintaining at a totally different level. I ain't really looking at him as the ATM, you know, but I know if he got it, I got it. I know he ain't gonna be selfish with whatever it is he have. You know, I know that when it comes down to it, he's gonna try to make it happen, even if it takes his last. And you know what? I don't even want to be in that position. I don't even want him struggling like that. Even though we here struggling together, I don't want him struggling like that. You know what? And I know he don't want me struggling like that. I see him when he's come, you know, perplexed in mind about how the struggle is looking and what he need to do to try to make it happen. I see his wheels turning. You know, I see him trying to enact something that's going to be lawful and good for it, and he ain't taking no penitentiary risk that's going to even destroy our family even more. I see him, and I respect that. And then it's about, again, mutual benefit. It's about interdependency. And I respect you. And I ain't trying to put you in no subservient position. You're not a servant. You're my wife. You're not a lower class person. You're my wife. You're my equal, right? You're my partner. You're my girl. We down. If anybody gonna get it, you gonna get it, right? When we start having that type of love for each other, then that's when we make it work. That's when things are working. But we can't keep getting caught. Real talk, gender wars. He ain't right. She ain't right. He want a mama. Or she just want to tell somebody what to do. She just want to control something. Or we can't keep getting into these gender wars. We got too much against us. Real talk. We got too much against us. Getting played. We playing ourselves. Can't keep doing that. So yes, brothers, it starts with you, right? The genie's out the bottle. We're going to have to really learn how to deal with what we got out here right now. And then can we make some turns? Yeah. But the turn is not going to be turning back to the 19. It's not going to be that. This is not the world we live in. But it can be a lot better than what we got going right now. It can be. It really can be. I see it happening with a lot of couples out here who understand that, who has that, when the man is really sitting there trying to hold his business down like he need to. I see it happen with people every day out here. Some of the people who I've come in contact over the years, and some of the counseling that we've been doing, and some of the people I just actually know, I see them making it happen. Yeah, they say it's 50% divorce rate, but that means other 50% are still trying to make it work. They're still trying to figure out a way to make it work. They just ain't giving up, throwing in the towel. They're still trying to make it work. And so, yeah, I want to see us do the same thing. But yeah, my man, bruh, it starts with us. That really starts with us. And so, with that, recap real quick. Want to make sure that we have a complete conversation. Learn your vision, understand your vision, take time to reflect, to come up with your vision, know what your values are and how to articulate them values. How do you articulate those values? Look at what it is that you are expecting out of this relationship, out of the person that you're with, out of your family life, out of your business life, out of your work life, out of your social life, out of your emotional life, out of your mental life, all these others, these areas of growth that we need to really check out. Again, those areas of growth are spiritually, intellectually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and socially. What is the vision that I'm looking for in myself in these 6 areas, right? What are the behaviors that I need to make sure that I'm bringing in order to achieve this? And what are the behaviors that I'm looking for from the person I'm talking about, I'm sharing this interdependent relationship with? And what are the values that I'm looking for? What are the values that I'm bringing? And what are the values that I'm looking for? Because if we can't get to understanding the values, then the only thing we're doing is just jumping in relationships on the physical level. He looked good, she looked good, he smelled good, his beard nice, she fine, she this, she that. And then after you get together, had all these superficial conversations, then y'all done got so engrossed and hasty, and y'all want to get together and all this. And then when you find out that you need to be in a relationship, all that changed because you didn't talk about it. You still had it in you. You just didn't talk about it. One, you might have been scared, or you know to have that conversation. Thought. So we need to learn how to be able to do this. So with that, I'm going to end this podcast for this week. Again, I thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate you. You make me feel good. You make an old man feel good up in this piece, right? And so, you know, again, if any comments that you have, please hit me in under this video. Leave your comments in the comment section or shoot me a direct message. I definitely respond back to those who are here, who are asking me questions. And if you see me out and about, we still have a conversation. Have no problem with that. Just don't take up too much of my time because y'all know I'm with my family, right? But I still want to make time for my brothers. So with that, y'all have a great one. We'll see you next week.